guys. Just gonna wait for some people to join us. How's everyone doing today? I just want to know if you've ever drawn a mandala before. So if you have, can you just comment yes? I'm just gonna say hi to everyone. Wow, that's a good number. We have 25 people already. Okay, I see Sonia saying no. Rithi has drawn it before. I see another no. Yes. Yes. Nice. So it seems like a few of you have already drawn mandalas. That's amazing. And I welcome you all, beginners or people who've been drawing for a while. If you're pro mandala artists, we're gonna try something different today. So before I start the class, I'm just gonna take you guys through what is a mandala. I'm not sure if you guys know what exactly it is. So we do see a lot of people on Instagram these days drawing these beautiful mandala art pieces, and it's very therapeutic, not only when you're drawing it, but I'm sure even when you're watching other people draw, it's a therapeutic process, right? If it is, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, so mandala is actually not something new. It's been there for many years. It actually has been there for 40,000 years. You'd see it in caves, and that's how people would communicate, through art. So art is not something new. And for the ones who think that I can't draw something like this, that's a mandala, by the way. So for the ones who don't know, I'm just going to show you guys a few mandalas that I've been making during this lockdown. And there is another one. And then there's this one. And or it can be something as simple as this one. So how many people think you can't draw this? Because a lot of people who come to my class, they say, I can't draw this. It looks very complicated. It's intimidating. But trust me, you all can draw it. Thank you for the comments, guys. Hi, Chahat. Hi, Nikita. All right, I guess we have a good number of people. All right. So what I want to say is everyone can draw a mandala. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. You just got to trust in yourself and trust in the process and just have fun while you're drawing something like this. All we need for today's class, if you guys have a compass, then that's good. But if you don't, then you can just use things like a plate, a bowl. That's what I'm going to use for today's drawing tools. You can get a bottle cap, a lid, anything that you see, maybe a glass. So whatever circular objects that you can find at home, just grab them, bring that. And of course you need a paper. I just have a square paper, but it's okay if you're just drawing in a notebook or you have an A4 size paper, that's fine. And then we are gonna make our first circle. So you're gonna take the biggest object, whatever that big object you have. For me, the biggest one I have is a plate. So I'm gonna put the plate on I'm gonna flip the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take the plate and I'm gonna make a circle. I'm not gonna use a pencil because I want it to be more free flowing. I don't want to worry about how pretty my mandala looks. I just want to do something that makes me feel good today. So I'm gonna go in and make my first circle. And I hope you guys are drawing with me. If you're not, it's okay. Just watch me draw. And if you are, please share your mandalas with me after you're done. You can share it on Just Jam. Or you can send me a message directly on my Instagram page. My Instagram page is Sanjana Chimnani. I've already pinned it in comments, so you can have a look at that. Are you guys drawing? Can I just see who's drawing? So maybe you just say yes or thumbs up on the comments. Okay, someone's saying they're watching TV. No problem. Thanks for watching this as well. And then I'm gonna make my second circle. It can be with the same pen or another pen. And that's my second object that I'm gonna use is a bowl. And I'm gonna make my next circle here. That's my second circle. So we're just making our grid right now. Before we start drawing, we just want something that's on paper so we don't feel intimidated looking at a blank sheet of paper. You can even draw your circles with a pencil and then erase it later if you want to. I'm just going to go straight with the pen because I like circles and I want that to be a part of my mandala today. So I'm going to go and use a glass now for my third one. So these pink circles actually remind me of something I did with the same colors, which was this one. And you can make something like this. Another thing I'd like to tell you guys is you can never copy a mandala. So don't bother about the things I'm showing you. It's just for inspiration, just so you know what we're doing today in class. This is somewhat how your mandala is going to look like. Not exactly this, and I'm not gonna teach you step by step on how to make exactly this mandala because I myself, although I made this, I can't copy the exact same thing the next time I'm making a mandala. Every time you make a mandala, it's something different. So I welcome you guys to just step out of your comfort zone today and try this. That's new for maybe some of you, or the others who've been making mandalas before. Maybe you haven't tried something freehand, you always use a compass. So maybe today just try making one without your geometry tools. Okay, so that's 4 circles. I'm gonna go in with my last one over here. Circle. And that's about it for today's grid. I think I'm happy with that. For the ones who have a compass and maybe you don't have enough circular objects at home that you can find, I actually found another one here, but I think it's almost the same, so I can't use that. But you can, if you have a compass and you want to make more circles, go for it. The more circles you make, the more detailed your mandala will be. For example, when I was making this one, I made a lot of circles for me to achieve something like this. Of course, it wasn't freehand, so I had a whole grid layout that I made. But for today, I think this is good enough to make something. That's all you need. It's actually very simple. It's not difficult. And I'm going to take you through the next step on how to create patterns to fill it into your mandalas. So another good practice when you're making mandalas is to always keep a rough notebook or paper or anything around you where you can just scribble a few things, whether that's you trying out different shapes, or maybe while you're making it there are certain thoughts that come to your mind and you maybe want to just make a note of it. And what you're going to do is, on your rough paper, before you start drawing on the actual mandala of yours, you're going to just make a few patterns. You're going to practice it. So you're going to maybe, what shape? Like maybe a triangle. You just keep repeating that one shape over and over again. So you're making a symmetrical mandala. So if you look at it, the same thing that with a triangle, you can achieve something like that. So you're going to basically keep repeating that triangle in that circular form. So it doesn't have to be just a triangle. It can be many different shapes. Could be something like that. And again, don't worry about it all being perfect. We're not working on that today. We just really want to be free, let loose, and have fun with the process of mandala making. What else can I do? Maybe I can make some flowers. So I'm just gonna do that. And or you can try some loops. Once you're done with practicing some of these basic shapes, what you can do is, if you want to get into detailing, so maybe you take another pen or another color. I'm using a black pen, which is 0.05. So I'm just gonna maybe make some circles within this pattern that I drew. Just let your creativity flow in. I think that's the best part about a mandala, that you don't have to think too much about what you're making. The shapes just come to you, and you just have to be open to the idea of letting it come and not worrying too much about the final piece. The final piece always looks good, always. Trust me on that. You will realize that at the end of the class when you're done making your mandala. So I'm just filling in my shapes with another design. And later on, maybe you can color it. Yeah, so I hope you guys get just the basics of how to do it. And once you're done practicing on your rough sheet, then we move back to our grid. And now something very important. So before you start filling in the design into your mandala, I'd like to share something with you guys to set an intention. When I started making mandalas, I actually started making them in 2014 when I was in my last year of university, and I was just struggling with too many things happening in my life at that point. I was extremely stressed, and I was really looking for an outlet on how to de-stress myself. And that's when I actually came across these beautiful mandalas. And I remember the first time I drew a mandala, it took me 8 hours to finish my first one that I ever did. So there is no time constraints on mandala. Unfortunately, of course, today we have to finish it before an hour, because that's how much the live session allows you to be. But I think you should just stay and make your mandala for however long you can. If you think you want to continue making your mandala after our live session ends, please do so. Listen to yourself, listen to your body till whenever you can sit, however long you can sit. And if you feel like you're tired or it's just making you too anxious, then let it be for some time, and then maybe you can restart again tomorrow or whenever you feel like it. But it's important to make a mandala when you are in a good frame of mind, when you are feeling good and positive, because that's what you're putting in your art piece. You don't want to come in with too much of negativity, because then that's what you're putting onto your artwork and wishing for whatever is on your mind. So that's why they say before you start making it, always have an intention and try to meditate for at least a few minutes. Maybe you can play some soothing music and just sit in silence and take a few deep breaths, or you can play a guided meditation for maybe 5 minutes. And another thing that you can do is maybe write down something that you're probably grateful for. And I always, for me, my intention always comes from the Bhagavad Gita. So I try to read a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, and I meditate upon that verse, and I draw my mandala. So I'd like to share a verse with you guys today. And please excuse my Sanskrit, but I'm going to try my best to recite this verse. It's from chapter 9, verse 26. And this is how it goes. It says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakte upahartam ashnami prayatna maha. And what this verse says is that if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, water, I will accept it. So whatever it is that you believe in, maybe it's the universe or the Almighty or God or your higher self, just be grateful for that and express your gratitude to the, let's just say the universe for today's class. So just being grateful to the universe for everything that you have. We're all at home, we're safe. I hope everyone's safe. And from the little things that we have, the food that we get to eat, we have clean water to drink. We're very fortunate to even have a gadget and internet connection for us to connect with each other. A lot of people are going live. There's so many beautiful courses online. I'm really enjoying my time attending different courses or just meeting new people through even my mandala workshops that I've been conducting. And I just feel extremely fortunate that we can do this sitting at home, although the situation is pretty bad outside. So I think maybe if you guys write a note wherever you made your little patterns, or just something that you're grateful for today, right now, if you just take a few minutes and write down 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for today. It could be your parents, it could be just yourself for taking time out today to make a mandala, or anything. Maybe you slept well last night. Thank yourself. And then once you're done setting your intention, then we move on to filling in our mandala with patterns. I'm going to switch it back to my paper, and I'm gonna play some music, and until then I'm gonna write down things I'm grateful for before I start drawing. So just gonna take my notebook and write what I'm grateful for. And once you've made the note, we're gonna start. So you're gonna put, another thing that's important, there are no such rules, but what you want to do to keep in mind is that you always start from the center and then you go out instead of out to in or randomly drawing patterns around. So always just start from the center and keep growing your mandala. So I'm gonna just I'm not measuring it. I haven't measured my paper where my center point is. I'm just making a point, and then I'm gonna start making my first shape. And then you keep growing it. So once again, it's all freehand. You don't need a grid for today's class. For the ones who joined in late, what I did was I just took 5 objects that I found at home, circular objects, like a plate, a bowl, a bottle cap, a glass, and I just made my circles with that. And then I started filling in these shapes, starting from the center. You want to start from the center and then go out. I'm gonna keep these shapes here for you guys to have a look at, or we're gonna keep one here. So no, I'm not copying this one. I'm just keeping it for people who are joining in late to see what we're doing today. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that when you're drawing a mandala, you want to go in one direction when you're making your shapes. So just go, whether that's clockwise or anti-clockwise, stick to that, just so you're being mindful of what you're drawing. And then I'm probably going to use a pen. You can even keep rotating your paper so it's easier for you guys to draw. Make some circles. The process of mandala making is actually very, very relaxing, and you'd probably realize that while you're making it. It's actually a form of meditation. So for the ones who can't sit in silence for too long, or if you think meditation is just not for me, I fall asleep when I meditate, or meditation is just boring, then please try this form of meditation and see how you feel. It's also nice when you're just sitting by yourself with no distractions. You just play some soothing music and you make this form of art. It's even more fun when you're with a group of people, whether that's your friends, your family, or just strangers, because that's when you actually get to share and you get inspired by people around you. You hear different stories, and at the end of every class we actually analyze our mandalas. And yes, you can actually read into your mandalas, because every shape, every color, the way you color it in, the way you've drawn it means something. It's not random. So it seems like I'm just sticking to 2 colors for today, and then I'm using a black pen for more detailing. You can always go back to the details later if you want, but you can make the bigger shapes first. The kind of music you play while making it also matters a lot. So highly recommend playing some soothing music, or maybe you can play some mantras, Vedic sounds that helps you calm down. I hope you guys are drawing with me. If you are, just say yes on the comments so I know you guys are drawing. Or if you're just watching, happy watching. So maybe if you're watching, you're observing that I'm not thinking too much about the shapes. I'm just letting it flow. So whatever is coming to my mind, I'm just making that. This is a bigger mandala, so it could take time, but I'm trying to just work on it faster today because of the live session. But usually if I was doing it on this size of paper, by now I think we've been in the live session for 30 minutes. I would have probably still just been here. So I'm trying to make it faster. But you guys can take your time, don't rush into it. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes, but you guys can take your time. And every time you feel stuck, like you don't know what shape to do next, just start coloring in till the next, till you get inspired by something else. Someone's asking for what type of paper. So usually, I mean, for today's class, you can take any paper that you have at home. Because of the lockdown, I obviously can't give you the exact what exactly we need because we can't buy it. But I usually use a cardstock paper, so it's thicker, and I cut it out into a square shape to make my mandalas. So you can do that if you have a rectangle paper today, or you can even make it on a rectangular paper. So for example, I've made that on a rectangular one, and it's also cardstock. Or for paper, I just use this one. I found it somewhere. It's just a brown paper that was lying at home, so I utilized it. And then I found this paper at home. It was probably from... So yeah, you can use this paper as well. Any paper, anything that you see at home that's lying and you want to try making one on that, go for it. So I'm just gonna continue making it here. Okay, someone's asking which sketch pens are you using. So I'm using Staedtler pens right now. I also have glitter pens, or you can use, I really like these Camlin brush pens. You can maybe look it up on Amazon and you can find it there. So try the Camlin brush pens for sure if you want to order that, or just basic glitter pens. And my favorite brand is actually Staedtler, so I use these the most for my mandalas. So almost all the mandalas that I have drawn have been with Staedtler. So all of these were with Staedtler. And then I have different kinds of black pens with different points. So that's 0.5, 0.05, or you have 0.03. So that way you have a variety, and you can use these pens for detailing or even just outlining your mandalas. Okay, what other question? It's a great initiative during quarantine days. Thank you so much. It really is. And I feel like when you're making mandalas, you can take as long as you want. You don't realize the time. So if you are bored, definitely give this a shot, because this is addictive. Then you just want to keep making more and drawing more. And you have no idea where the time goes. It just flies. Okay. Thank you for all the positive comments, guys. Love the music. Thank you, Chandni. Can we make any design? Yes, you can make any design. When we started the session, I was talking about how you can never really copy any mandala. So please don't Google it and try to make exactly what you see on Google, because it's just gonna be a frustrating process for you. You want to make something original, and honestly it's super easy. Just try it. And all of this that I'm doing is also freehand. You don't have to show it to anyone if you don't want to. It's totally fine. It's your piece. It's just about how you feel. And we also set an intention before we started drawing about just being grateful for what we have, and maybe keeping that in mind while you're drawing, to what is it that you're grateful for, and putting those positive intentions onto your mandala. Okay. Apeksha is asking if we can use color pencils. Yes, you can use color pencils. You can use sketch pens. You can use, if you're making it on, maybe you want to make this on canvas, then you can use acrylic pens. These are Posca pens that are really, really good. So if you want to make bigger art pieces, then I highly recommend getting these. You'll also find them on Amazon. Or if you want to just make a black and white mandala, you probably don't have colors, that's fine. You can also do that. That also looks nice actually. So for example, I didn't color this one. I just used, I drew it out with pencil, and then I went over it with a black pen, and that's it, as simple as that. So you can try that as well. Okay, what shape is next? And I can't think of a shape, so I'm just gonna color again. Have you guys ever used coloring books, coloring mandala books? If you have, just comment saying yes. Vishal Advani is saying yes. Coloring books are also very relaxing. It calms you down, definitely, and you can go on coloring for hours without even realizing the time. But I feel when you draw out your own mandala and you color it, it's such a beautiful feeling. You feel so accomplished after you finished it. That's, I think most of my workshops that I've done, I usually teach how to draw and then color in I only did one coloring workshop, which was good too, but I strongly feel that everyone can draw. Everyone is an artist, just like we all can read and write, we can also draw. We've just, maybe in our childhood, we were judged, or we were told we were not good artists, and then we just stopped drawing. A lot of times I ask my students when was the last time they drew, and they say 10 years, 20 years, it's been forever, I don't remember. And I'm sure there are a few people who are watching this who feel the same. So if you do, just let me know. When was the last time you drew? I'd love to hear that. So quite a few people have colored. Yes, this live video will be saved on IGTV. Okay, I'm still feeling a bit stuck. I will make some triangles. Now, as you can see that the triangles are not all even, but again, that's okay. You can, if you guys have children at home, you can even try it with them. Just give them a few circular shapes and see what they do. They're usually more creative than us because they're not worried about how it's gonna look. Am I gonna be judged by how I've drawn it? They're free birds. It honestly took me a while to also practice that, making art for myself and not for others to judge all the time. And that's why I love my mandala journey actually. I'm not looking for approval from others to tell me how pretty it is or not. Because at the end of it, I just feel good, and that's what matters. Started drawing and sketching after years in lockdown. That's nice, Chandni. I'm sure you feel good. try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. I think we're running out of time. But if you're drawing, please share your mandalas with us after you're done. You can either tag us if you're posting it on your Instagram, or you can direct message us on Just Jam or Sanjana Chimnani. Gonna go back with my black pen. Guys, there's so much you can do with the details if you want. There's much more you can do with all of this. So I'm actually gonna stop at this. Of course, I'm not done. There is a lot more to do, but I think I am done for now for this live session, because I have, I guess, only 5 minutes left. But I hope you guys enjoyed this session today and you learned something new of how to create mandalas with just things you have at home. And I am very grateful to Just Jam for giving me this opportunity to come and take a class on their platform. So thank you to Chandni for bringing me on and giving me this chance. I had a great time taking today's class. I always love teaching how to make mandalas, and there's just so much to it. It's not just a beautiful piece of art that we see. There's actually a lot of psychology behind it, what it means and what it can do and how powerful it is. So if you guys want to know more about mandalas, please reach out to me on my Instagram, and I will give you more details on the different workshops that I do. I've been taking some workshops on Zoom now because of the lockdown, so we can't step out, and it's actually giving me a chance to meet people from all around the world. So that's something I always look forward to, is meeting new people and sharing this knowledge of mandalas with everyone. So yeah, if you want to know more, you want to make more mandalas, or just understand what does this even do to us, let me know, and I'd love to take a class for you guys. But thank you, and again, please share your mandalas, and we'll probably repost them. Take care, guys. Happy drawing, and thank you all who joined the class. Bye-bye.